Jana polished the lamp with great zeal, hoping a genie would come out to grant her a wish. Instead, she just ended up with a clean lamp. Well, at least a little cleaner, because Jana was not very patient and angrily threw the lamp into the corner.
What a waste of time. But somehow I have to...
Next, she went into the deep forest behind her house, which her parents had always warned her about. But she had heard that deep in the woods, in a clearing, a unicorn lived, and surely could finally grant her a wish. Eventually, she actually reached the clearing and looked around uncertainly. But there was no unicorn to be seen anywhere, and it was slowly getting dark. Jana was already getting worried about not making it back to her house in time, when suddenly it happened. A bright light blinded her, and a white coat glowed before her eyes. With her mouth wide open, she slowly walked around the animal and finally saw that it really was a unicorn. Its glow made her suspect it possessed magical powers. So she cleared her throat and was just about to make her wish when she suddenly heard her father calling, "Jana, where are you? Come home already, it's getting dark." She had only turned around for a second to look for her father, but when she went to focus back on the unicorn, it had vanished. Angry and disappointed, she made her way home.
Tomorrow then.
She set off before even breakfast and hiked into the forest to the exact spot where she had seen the unicorn the day before. Then she sat down on a tree log and waited. Impatiently, she threw pine cones around that she had found along the way.
Ouch! Why are you throwing things at me?
A voice suddenly cried, and Jana began to smile. It was definitely the unicorn. And finally, she would get her wish granted. Instead, a tiny fairy came floating over, shaking her head.
Don't you pay any attention to where you're throwing?
Jana got very excited. A fairy? That was even better than a unicorn. She cleared her throat and asked cautiously,
Are you a real fairy? Can you grant me a wish?
The fairy began to laugh.
First you throw things at me, and then you want wishes? Huh? What does the impatient girl want? A castle, a unicorn, all the candy in the world? Even if I could, I wouldn't grant you a wish. Why should I? I just thought maybe I would. I wish I had just one single friend in the whole wide world.
Jana whispered, and the fairy paused. Suddenly, she felt very guilty for scolding her so much earlier.
You know, I would love to grant you a wish, but my wand is broken. The last time I had a unicorn race with my sister, the tip snapped off, and now it sometimes does whatever it wants. All right then,
Jana said, and with her head down, she started walking home.
Wait!
The fairy flew back and forth excitedly in front of her.
Let's just try it. Maybe it'll work.
She waved her hand with a look of pure concentration. Then the tip of the wand lit up briefly. But other than that, nothing happened. No sudden fog appeared, out of which a friend stepped, the way Jana might have hoped.
Looks like it's not working yet. But in 25 years, my next wand will have grown. Until then, I'm afraid I can't help you. I'm sorry. I really must go now. I wish you the best of luck. Maybe you'll find someone without any magic who wants to be your friend before then. But you'd better not throw pine cones at them.
And with those words, she suddenly disappeared, as if she had never been there at all. Sighing, Jana stood up, intending to go home. "Hey, where are you going? Are you just going to leave me lying here? Confused, Jana looked around, but she could not see anyone. Hello, down here. First, you bring me to life, and then you just want to leave me behind in the woods? I think I'm going to have to teach you what it actually means to be friends first. All that's missing is a pine cone for you to throw in my face. When Jana searched for the source of the voice, she marveled. It seemed as if a giant watermelon had appeared against the tree, and it was able to speak, and apparently convinced they were meant to be friends now. The broken wand had seemingly worked after all, just completely differently than she had imagined. Instead of another human as a friend, it gave her a watermelon? How could you experience adventures with a watermelon, or brush each other's hair while telling secrets? This was supposed to be her friend? She groaned, but took the watermelon home with her anyway. That very evening, she talked with the watermelon and told it how much she had wished for someone who would listen to her, or who could tell her a story in the evening, because she had such a hard time falling asleep. It was difficult for her parents because they had to work all day and were too exhausted themselves in the evening to tell her exciting stories. I can read you a book, her mom would always offer, but she found books very boring because she wanted to decide for herself what should happen in her story. For example, a flower that didn't want to be picked, or a mouse on the moon. The speaking watermelon listened to all of this patiently, and when she was finished, it began to tell the story of the mouse on the moon. And Jana immediately fell asleep happily. Since that evening, Jana and the speaking watermelon were best friends, and every evening she could choose new characters for her funny or exciting stories.